Go for it.
Hit it. I'm hitting it. And can someone pull up without it affecting your volume on my end the YouTube channel to see if it is working?
Let's find out.
My
And if you do get some
channel.
weird feedback,
It does say it does say live now.
cool.
It's the Doodling Dragoon currently, but there's no doodling at the present moment.
Dot by your name on my YouTube panel. That's promising. Let me click it and see what happens.
I probably should.
And again,
I probably should
yeah.
change the icon, but okay.
I am now loading up one of my high-intensity orchestral templates.
Can you
so
send?
if I start going robot,
Can you
why.
can you send me RJ? Can you send me a link to the like a shareable link to the YouTube? Yes, please, so that I may share this abroad.
Downloading. Copy. And dropping it into our little chat here. Be very careful. There we go. Make sure you click on the second link.
Not the first one.
Not the first one. That'll take you to that not safe for work. Again, highly recommend Ogla.
But announcements. Let me see here. I'm gonna click this into video share, and then I'm gonna put this over here, and put this.
Okay.
Let me see here.
Shooby-doo-wah, da-da. Boots and cats, boots and cats, boots and cats, boots.
Oh my god, not again.
It's the sweet one.
What would this be under? What would I put it under? Isn't there supposed to be a self promo thing? I'm in the. I am angry. Music, media. I'm gonna ask them. No. Oh boy, Gentlemen, behold, furries. Hold on. Is there a place to self-promote streaming?
You can self-promote streaming, yes.
No, not. Shut the fuck up. I'm not talking to you. Streamer mode is enabled. Stay safe. Stay safe, my friend.
That basically means you won't get any notifications.
Oh, advertising. Boink, boink, boing. Now live.
It's times like this I wish I had access to my cutesy sound effects.
Hard language.
Custom.
Don't overly furry.
Keep it in your pants.
Don't overly.
Keep it in your fursuit.
Whoa! The fuck happened? Whoa! What the fuck happened? Oh, it's not allowed to. Okay.
He is a very confused boy.
Thanks. Now live. I need to quickly move out of Discord because Discord somehow tends to trip out my video card for some reason.
I would say use Skype, but no one uses Skype.
What's Skype?
You see?
What's Skippy?
You see? My point exactly.
And now this one is where it's oh, there it is, self promo. Now live. Warning. Harsh language. And RJ, if you want to advertise that to anybody else, then
Okay.
have fun. For the sake of keeping
For the sake
your
of the second race, I will allow you to bed Princess Trunks.
for the sake of keeping your the security of the distance between you two, I elected to not post this in her server.
Okay. No problem. Does YouTube have the equivalent of the hosting function on Twitch?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Unaware. But I can click over here and turn off the volume. Got it. So then, welcome to the live chat. Remember, okay, blah blah blah. Let's see if I chat. Why don't I see anything?
I see something. I saw you chat.
No. Why can't I see anything in the... Oh. Derp. And it's there we go!
Hey,
there we go!
Woo.
It works! It works! Woohoo! It's working! It's working!
Oh my god, I just imagined Vegeta being in the seat of that pod. Oh my god!
It's working! It's working! Get the
Vegeta!
Get the fuck out of the way, you stupid bunny bitch!
Victory for Vegeta!
Hey, good job, Annie! We're gonna win!
fucking Nappa is Jar Jar.
That's me, Nap Nap Binks.
Nap Beaks.
Oh dear God!
It's a me.
It's a me. Hey, Mario.
Squeeze me!
Hey, Mario. I was wondering, could you pass me the syrup? It's a me! Okay, I totally botched that. It's a me! I totally botched it again! I suck.
Damn it.
That's okay.
I'm terrible. You actually did a better Nappa than I've ever done, so congrats.
Hey!
Hey, there we go. So much
Misa
better.
called Nap Binks! Misa, your humble servant!
I am going to hurt you so many times.
Misa, your humble servant!
So many times. So many times.
All we got to do is take the Zabongo through the planet core.
God damn it, there's more of you
Then we
again.
won then.
No, there's more. Hanson, I'm turning on the
Then
engine.
we won the Naboo.
He just turns on the engine and takes off.
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent. Now get the hell away from me!
How's a wood?
Fuck off me!
Now it's apple juice. Now it's beer. Now it's Nappa's head.
Wait, what the fuck? Oh god.
I have.
What have we created? What have we done?
I have an idea. Why don't we?
4-star dub of fucking Star Wars Episode 1.
I have a bad feeling about this.
No one cares. We're still going for the core.
All right, let's try spinning. I hear that's a good trick.
Well,
I honestly think that the voice of Anakin Skywalker would be too good as TFS Goku.
Now this is pod racing. Woohoo!
oh god.
Are you an angel?
No, I'm a bitch.
I'm a bitch, I'm a lover. I'm a
Okay,
saint,
turn it off.
I'm a
Turn it
saint.
off.
I
It
do
worked.
not and nothing in between. I don't know how this song goes, but I know that tunes
Okay,
like this.
okay. Shut it off. Shut it off. It didn't work. It did not work.
Wait, hold on.
Just fucking hit random.
Baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark doo. And now we lost all of our viewers.
I swear to God, if you keep going on like this, I'm gonna kick you right in the dick.
Bring it. I've got balls of steel.
But do you have balls for days?
I like to not answer that question.
Tell everyone, now that we have you on air, live and in person.
You know,
Do you have balls for days?
We need an answer to this question. This is kind of important. I'm gonna be writing this down here. Hold on, let me get a fucking notepad or something.
All right, so folks, welcome to the. Oh yeah, sorry you can't join in on this, Sash. Okay, so this is the Doodling Dragoon. Normally on Sundays, we would be doing this while I'm drawing something. But I'm not prepared to do that right now, and quite frankly, we're just trying to get people to watch. So if you like what you're hearing, then please go ahead and
hit that like and subscribe.
Hit that like and subscribe and spread the word. Because in the future, I'm going to be doing commissions, and you can pay me to draw pictures for you of your whatever you want, except for lewds. Except for lewds. No lewds.
Well, of course, it's YouTube. You gotta keep it family friendly, but you know, you probably could have.
But as you can see, here's a wide range of examples of work that I've done in the past. So.
Woohoo!
Ooh, getting called out in the comments.
Oh man, Sasha. Oh man, Sasha. Sasha, I do love you.
Calling them out?
You know I love you. Come on.
Yay!
There we
good.
go.
Now we have a public record. It's going to be in the Congressional Archive. No take backsies.
Oh man, can't wait to hear how this.
I am okay with this.
Good.
I am Ron Burgundy.
I don't know.
I have no idea how to breathe.
This is literally going to be a show where we just call out random bullshit, isn't it?
There's generally supposed to be some sort of theme to it all.
Sure.
Well, it looks like you didn't prepare well enough, did you?
No! I was asleep half of the day. Like someone else that I know.
So I'm even more prepared than you.
No, I mean, I clearly had the technology set and ready. I just didn't pull out my sketch pad, that's all. And I didn't feel like drawing, okay? So shut up.
Well, where'd you have it? In the trash? Where it belongs? I'm sorry, that was a little rude. Allow me to say that again.
I mean, it's
Wait,
very...
there is no nicer way to say that. I apologize. That was cold. I can't even draw what the fuck. What you're gonna get out of me is a
and apparently can't even perform the music that he writes.
Hey!
Burn.
Shots fired! Kill the bald one. Reason did it!
Well, this at the same time, while I would be drawing, there would be some other guest, and these assholes, or dorkwads, or... jeez, I really dug myself a hole in this one.
Challenge accepted.
Comedy.
Huh.
But,
There is no comedy here. There is only...
there's only stupidity.
There is only Zool.
There is only Zool.
There is only Zool, the god of stupidity, and the patron saint of the prince of all Saiyans.
Choose the destruct form of the... Choose the form of the Destructor.
Are you the key master?
No.
Well, looks like you gotta keep looking. Let's get going.
Close.
Good
wait,
night,
hold on.
everybody.
Are you the key master?
Yes. Ray.
Could you please stop breathing down our necks? It's kind of weird, dude.
Hello,
Stop
Dana?
it!
Dana? I'd like to speak to Dana now. Is Dana in there?
There is no
You wait.
Dana on this tour.
Well, you're way over capacities.
I need an adult.
You are an adult.
Bullshit, cornhole.
Okay, yeah, I'll show that. That's fine. Ooh, sweet! It's like we're Team Rocket or something. So which one of you is going to end up being Jesse? Alright, guess I'm going to take my leave.
Get out.
Gosh,
Fool.
where was that picture where it was
Yeah.
descriptions of the three members of Team Rocket with tag yourself?
Are you the key master? No, I'm Sora from Kingdom Hearts. Cue the music.
Here we go, media.
Yeah, Mr. Media Man. Yeah, Mr. Media Man. Yeah, Mr. Media Man. Yeah, Mr. Media Man. Come on, Daddy. Come on, Daddy. Gonna play some music, Daddy? Gonna play us some music, Daddy?
What?
But you can't play us any music, Daddy. You can't play any of your music, Daddy, can you, Daddy?
Okay, well here's the thing. I don't want to. I don't want to play music.
That proves nothing, then.
I have nothing prepared.
I'm not gonna lie, though, guys. This guy is a musical genius. Well,
Or so they tell me.
or at least relatively speaking. I mean, you know.
Well, that depends on your definition of relatively.
Let me see here. Let me hold on.
Me making music is basically the shit and then posting whatever comes out.
I'm loving how he.
Not
I'm,
demonstrably different from most stuff on the internet. So
I mean, I love how also the fact
You're in
that you
good
kept cutting out just simply proves the fact. So yes. Oh, look, we have another viewer. So yes. So yeah, what I would normally be doing here on a Sunday is drawing. We're gonna do sort of the same thing. Hopefully, if all parties are available. Basically, what this cast is on Wednesdays.
yeah.
Yeah. So this cast now normally there should be some sort of theme or concept. I suppose the theme or concept for today is just gathering people to watch.
That's not a theme. That's more of an.
It's a mission statement.
It's a good place to start.
Sasha, just draw already.
So I found that
already.
I found that Team Rocket tag yourself descriptions. Okay, so here's something for you listening or watching along with us. Tag yourself in this. You have James. Would be clever if he were not stupendously dim-witted. Jesse has a great potential for evil, but is too self-absorbed to use it. And Meowth. This Pokemon has the amazing ability to speak. Unfortunately, nothing it says is worth listening to.
I think I'm. Oh shit! I can't.
I'm gonna claim Meowth. I'm just gonna say that right now. I'm Meowth.
I'm definitely James.
Well, technically, I'm all three, so.
So I guess that makes you Jesse. Great, we got our three.
This is the Team Rocket cast. Here we go.
Say the motto?
Why not?
What?
I don't want to say the motto.
You know
That
what?
means I act-
You know what? I'd make that double.
Oh dear God. Here we go.
Meowth, that's right.
just
Yeah.
Meow!
just straight up like silence. Then meow. That's right.
Yeah.
Meowth, that's right.
Oh yeah, Sasha's
That's the
our.
only thing I say. Damn it.
Sasha is our Wobbuffet.
Yay.
Oh, no.
Oh man, I think it's just us watching each other.
Wow, Wobbuffet.
Wobbuffet.
Oh, Bulbasaur.
This is the worst podcast ever.
Yeah. I dare say it might be worse than the unreleased episodes of Envoy and Cheese.
Yeah, the unreleased episodes, those actually had some sort of intellect or like thought process behind it, rather than just
Yeah, but that was mostly us just bitching and shit.
bitching about the government or the governments.
It always went back to government and politics.
Oh, it always did. This guy just this guy right here.
I hate our current government, but let's not get into that. This is not a political. You want a political show? I don't know. Pay me.
I'm not going to object to that.
Oh, Coop. Oh, Coop. You're getting
Dang.
your intelligence insulted.
Just getting dragged in the comments.
By the one active person in the comments. It appears that all your fans are dragging you through the mud.
Yeah, and it happens to be my girlfriend.
What would this show be without our very own Statler and Waldorf?
Hey, wake me when the show's over. No, wake me when the show starts.
I mean, that's how you know you made it.
The show's already started. Oh, and then wake me up when it's over.
Comedy. Yes, we remember what this is. We remember that good shit.
Keep advertising, keep advertising. I feel stupid, I feel stupid. Guys, this is a podcast. We're not doing anything with it. We're not talking.
Oh, well, I believe someone mentioned something about having a theme.
Well, we would have a theme if someone had fucking prepared. And that was our one. Apparently. I think we're gonna have to up that one to 10.
Wait, the one to what?
The one F-bomb in the video, I think I just inadvertently used it.
Oh, our one PG-13 F-bomb?
Yep.
Way to just blow through our budget, just like that.
I'm sorry, it's become a natural part of my lexicon at this point. I can't control it.
I've already said fuck like 5 times.
Okay,
Oh,
so that
shoot.
means we're gonna have to increase the budget. Lovely. The producers are gonna love that. They're gonna be like,
Why the fuck are you going over our fucking budget?
we're gonna be like, well, it's not our fault that the fucking blow, you fucking fuck. God damn.
I mean, I think what I'm hearing is that you're volunteering to cover us. So thanks for that, buddy. Appreciate it.
Fuck those guys.
Oh boy.
Fuck the budget. We don't. Where we're going, we don't need a budget.
Fuck the police. Actually, no, don't. Actually, they're just people doing their jobs.
They're very sensitive about that.
Where we're going, we don't need a budget. We never had a budget to begin with.
Where we're going, there is no budget. There are no roads.
And that's why there's no budget.
So, but how can we... Okay, so we need roads to make a budget, but we can't make roads without a budget. How do?
And that's why economics is hard.
I was about to say, this is our theme, and you just destroyed it right there and then.
I mean, we tried.
An attempt was made.
Yep.
All right.
And that's literally all we could say about it.
Is there anything in particular, like, say, video games or movies or nerd culture or... RJ!
Well, we can
Yes?
always start strong by just shitting on the
I am
modern
here.
Star Wars.
Yes,
I mean,
let us... Oh, yes,
you wanna do
to
that,
I wanted to
I
hear
will
you...
fight you IRL.
The two of you, I wanted to hear the two of you go back and forth over this. I did.
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
fight
we
me.
are now starting the actual conversation. Nerd war between these two dorkwads. And the conversation is going to be about... let's go chronologically statements from each Star Wars film.
Like from the very beginning?
Like going let's just do the let's not touch the original
Are we
trilogy.
going back to the 70s?
Let's not
No,
talk.
why not? Why not go back to the trilogy? What are you afraid of?
Okay, you know what? Okay, so for no, we're gonna go from episode 1 to episode 8.
Oh, we're gonna go from numerical order. Okay.
Numerical order, yes. All right, so then, gentlemen, opening statements on episode 1.
Phantom Menace?
Yes.
Who wants to go first?
You go first.
Episode 1, Phantom Menace. Undeservedly shat upon, best of the prequels. By a country mile. Do you want me to elaborate, or are we just doing like a one statement? I mean, that's my opening statement. Undeservedly shat upon.
It's a pretty good opening statement. Honestly, I agree with you. I don't say it's the best of the prequels, but it's still a really damn good film.
Damn good film, stands on its own.
It is
The only of the prequels to really try and use all of Naboo is a practical effect. I mean, yes, there's some CGI in there, but by and large, they tried their best to do that one with practical effects. Its only fault is that it's irrelevant to the rest of the story. That is its only fault.
The three out of the prequels, that is my favorite one.
Yeah. Honestly, what would probably have helped it do better is if it were marketed the same way Rogue One or Solo were marketed. Their own self-contained little side story, like, hey, do you want to know how Anakin met Obi-Wan and Yoda and all them? This is a movie you'll find out. Its biggest sin is that it has basically nothing to do with the rest of the prequels. No. I'd actually like to make an argument there.
Okay. It does just kind of start out of nowhere, like in the middle of something, which I think actually is kind of an interesting, unique charm. But what it does is it sets the pieces up.
But you could have done that in another... Like, here's my pitch for... If I absolutely had to fix the prequels, the very first movie should have been Attack of the Clones. And it should have been how the Clone Wars started. Like, the three movies should have been about the Clone Wars. All three of them. All that setup that happened could have happened in Attack of the Clones, and probably would have made Attack of the Clones a better movie, too. I mean, I don't want to move into that one just yet. We're still doing Phantom Menace opening comments, but I think a lot of the introduction stuff could have also been handled in it. Because think about it. When we time jump from Phantom Menace to Attack of the Clones, we get a brand new actor for Anakin. Because he can't be a kid anymore. Sorry, Jake Lloyd. So many actors got unfairly shat upon.
You're a really cute kid, but I don't understand a word you're saying.
And again, like, I hate to level the criticism at any story that it's unnecessary, because when you get right down to it, all stories are at least a little bit unnecessary. I don't think that's a fair criticism to level at something. But compared to what we have of, like, the story, like...
Speed Racer was absolutely necessary.
I mean, I don't disagree. If there's one movie I'm going to apply that title of necessary to, it is Speed Racer. That is a blessing that God, where is that meme, of like where Jesus speaks the truth, but no one believed him, and he
Yeah.
on that chick track. That, but Speed Racer.
Go on.
Anyway, to me, like, if you want to look in like big picture, the problem with the prequels is not that they ask the wrong questions, but they ask the least interesting questions. The questions the prequels ask and try to answer are, how does Anakin fall to the dark side, and how does the Republic become the Empire? And the answer to both of those is, well, Palpatine just tricked everybody. Trick.
Yep.
And that's just not the most interesting way of telling that story. Especially if you're trying to use that to... Because, like, to me, if you're going to tell the prequels after the original trilogy, it should bring out elements of the original trilogy that were always there, but maybe you didn't notice them so much. Like, to me, the more interesting questions to ask is, why was it a tragedy to lose Anakin? Why was it a tragedy for Anakin to become Darth Vader? Why does it suck that we don't have the Jedi anymore? And why do we want the Republic back, which is what the rebels are trying to do? And like, show us why we want that back. The prequels do the opposite. They're like, oh, actually, the Republic sucked. The Jedi suck. All of them sucked, and the Palpatine easily tricked them. It turns Return of the Jedi into a tragedy. And that's my pitch for why Revenge of the Sith is the worst of the prequels. It ruins my favorite movie, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, pretty much.
It truly is the tragedy of Anakin Skywalker.
It's the tragedy of Star Wars, really. It's like, hey, Luke.
Hey, that's Disney. Fuck.
No, my friend. The prequels did it. And I'm going to tell you right now, the sequel trilogy is Disney trying to give a gift to the fans, but they're too spoiled to accept it. They have been spoiled for too long, having LucasArts jack them off. Sorry, this is going to get blue now. Jack them off with whatever they wanted, and as soon as Disney tries to say, hey, like, have you guys seen Movie Bob's videos on some of the sequel movies?
I have not actually.
I would recommend them. Because I don't agree with him on everything he says, and I don't think he would agree with me on what I would say about the movies. But in large part, we agree that the only problem with the sequels is just that Disney owns everything now, and that's kind of scary and, bit of a monopoly on entertainment. But the content of the movie, nothing wrong with them. Not from where I'm sitting. The problem is with the fans.
Oh,
by the way, we were just talking about how Jake Lloyd got shat upon, Adam and Best got shat upon. It's the same toxic fans. Star Wars has always had a fan problem. Fight me IRL.
Okay, we're gonna have to deal with that when we get to episode 8.
Fair enough. Again.
Oh.
All right. Okay. You
think I haven't spent entire drives at work thinking about this?
All right. Okay. So, RJ, you've said your piece.
I said my piece. I shot my shot. I shoot my shot.
It sounds like you pretty much covered also the other two prequels. So,
Attack of the Clones' biggest sin is that it's boring. It has a nice fight at the end. That does make a lot of sense. The neat thing is that, the whole thing he says in Empire Strikes Back, wars not make one great. I mean, if you want to look at it as that's him having grown after having failed, sure, that works. But it's still kind of like why does Yoda jump around like a grasshopper with a lightsaber? But my no prize fan answer is he just wasn't there yet in the prequels.
Oh, hello, buddy.
That
Person
still kind of sucks. Hey.
So what's going on in this stream now? Normally in this stream, I would be drawing, but right now we're along with nerd culture slapstick talk in the background, but just to kind of getting the ball rolling. We're just doing nerd pop culture talk, and right now we are currently talking about the Star Wars multi trilogy. Only the films, not the games.
RJ
Oh, it's Corey.
Not the role-playing games.
Yeah, what's up, Corey?
Hey, Corey.
So
Welcome.
this is basically now it's Ed's turn to discuss his thoughts on episode 1 and probably now potentially the prequels in general.
I'm gonna have to go through the entire prequel saga because you seem to have forgotten one movie, the Clone Wars movie.
I mean, sure, that counts.
You see, it was there. We can
No. He actually kind of slightly did mention it.
Yeah, fair
but
enough.
with Yoda hopping around.
I mean, I was mainly referring to the end of Attack of the Clones, but yeah, that it's a movie that exists.
As Jason Berg once put it, Ed, you don't know who Jason is. Mutual friend of RJ and I.
Mm-hmm.
It's he said, "It is a fine summer blockbuster film, but only on DVD so that you can skip the romance scenes."
And the scenes with the gosh, what was the name of that? But the hut that's a clear pastiche of that one playwright. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, are you talking about like the 50s diner kind of scene?
What is the name of that playwright who was like flamboyantly, it was definitely a pastiche of that, and it was kind of like, well, that's glad we have that in Star Wars now.
All right. Anyway, we keep cutting Ed off, which is
sorry.
Yeah. Let him talk, but it's okay because when we get him started, he won't stop.
I mean, fair.
Well, before I begin, let me just say, I thought you were joking when you put my name down there. I thought you were honestly joking when you called me the White Buffalo bitch, but no, apparently that's who I am now. I'm no longer Death Envoy, fucking music composer on YouTube. I am the White Buffalo bitch.
I mean, you had your chance to stop him. He gave you all the clues, Mr. Policeman.
I thought he was kidding. Christ.
And that is why you.
And that is why you fail.
That is why. You should never assume that about Coop.
You know what? I'll take this one in stride. I'll do it this one time. Damn.
Okay. You can't stay mad at Coop.
So now I've got to talk about the prequels, eh?
Yeah, go for it.
Where to begin? A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Stop.
Well, I think that most of the points RJ's already gotten to. Mainly, I agree with most of them. Like, now I actually have to think of a fucking argument.
You don't have to. If you simply agree, then we can move on to the next trilogy.
I can agree on most things. However, I do think that out of all of them, Revenge of the Sith is my favorite.
Fair. Sorry to have dumped on it earlier, but I stand by my points.
No, I can understand the points. Like, a lot of people complain about the CG. There's too much of it. There's way too much CG. And, you can't exactly argue that point, but there's also a lot of, like, hidden practical notice.
Yeah.
The final battle between Anakin and Obi-Wan was actually really well done as well. It's like the culmination of all the duels we've seen up to that point.
It's just that they had to add all that random junk with R2 and C-3PO. I could not stand any of that.
The shtick was not great. I do think now the last part of the battle where they actually like have like some dialogue, I like that part of their battle. A lot of the stuff leading up to that, I feel like a lot of the fight overstayed its welcome a bit. There is one scene where they are very obviously just swinging their lightsabers around and not purposely leaving themselves open, but glaringly leaving themselves open. And not in like I'm reading your mind. It's just like I'm going to swing my lightsaber behind my back for some reason, even though you're right in front of me. But that I could have done without.
Yep.
Anyway, So what else do you want to say about the prequels?
Sorry.
I'm just gonna say this: we could sit here and nitpick every single problem that is that we have with the prequels and anything associated with it, but we can all agree on one thing: the Clone Wars is the worst prequel movie.
No.
No. Here is my reason why.
Okay. Yeah. Go on.
All right. Here we go.
It's because it has natural stopping points within it. It was basically just a bunch of Clone Wars episodes strung together.
This is true.
When the Clone Wars series was a far better way to present the story.
God. I'm willing to bet you, if you were to actually cut up the Clone Wars film where it was where you could naturally see the cut and just insert that into the series as a whole.
I think they did at some point.
They didn't.
Maybe. Oh. Well, they should have.
They should have.
Yep.
It just would have added a little bit more, because then you wouldn't have to sit there the entire fucking time.
I mean, it introduces one of my favorite characters of the prequel trilogy, Ahsoka Tano.
Well, you want to know what the funny thing is? The fans shat on her too. When I saw her,
what did I tell you earlier? The fans are the problem. They've always been the problem.
And all George Lucas needed to say, just go with it. They'll come around eventually.
I mean, it's not like they ever stopped watching the movies. He got their money one way or another.
Well, they didn't exactly watch Solo.
I think that more has to do with when it came out.
And I think it also had to do with, you could pretty much predict the movie in of itself. It's like, okay, heist film with a train heist at the end, and it's going to it's going to explain all of the things that all of the backstory stuff to Han Solo that we all already know.
We'll get to that when we get to those films. I personally like Solo a lot because it's the one prequel that does what prequels should do. Not focus on the plot, but focus on the characters.
Yes.
That's another thing the prequels failed to do, was they focused way too much on the plot, which we already knew, and minimized, developing the characters, which was the one thing it could have done, I think, to really
end up getting Darth Maul from
show its worth. But here's the thing, though. I love Darth Maul. For real, though. The man is just too angry to die.
Oh, yeah.
And he came back in the I'll admit, at first I was doubtful when they were saying they're bringing him back in the Clone Wars. Like, I don't know. He had his time. He was a mid-boss. But, man, what they did with him in both Clone Wars and the Rebels cartoon, mwah, chef kiss. Mwah. Excellent.
It was beautiful. It's too bad. It was too bad that in Rebels we had to deal with Ezra Bridger.
Sure, Ezra Bridger is the weakest part of Rebels. Not going to disagree with that, but you also get everybody else. You get Thrawn back. Are you happy now, fans? You got Thrawn, and he was Thrawn.
Yeah, but in exchange for Thrawn, we have to have Zeb.
What's wrong with Zeb?
He just feels like a pointless character. He doesn't exactly add anything, and it's like,
I don't know. Having an alien who will beat people up, you can never have enough of those. And be grumpy and stinky.
I thought that's what Hera was for.
Being grumpy and stinky? Okay. No, Hera's there to be the one who has her shit together. She is the only one of that group who has her shit together.
Okay, so...
Excepting maybe the Mandalorian girl, whose name is escaping me at the moment.
Oh, Mary Sue, that's it.
Oh, good, another person who doesn't know what that word means.
I'm sorry, what?
She's not a Mary Sue.
She sure shit plays out like an overpowered OC.
What's wrong with having a competent female character? That's all she is a competent female character.
Okay, fair enough, but I wouldn't exactly call her likable. I did.
I liked her a lot. I loved her story. She had to beat up Mandalorians.
I couldn't give a shit if they are Mandalorian. They could be a fucking pure-blooded Sith, and if...
Why not? Why not? Do we not want to see our hero succeed eventually? She had to work for it. She had to... that whole episode about her having to train with, what's-his-face's,
Oh,
you
yes.
know.
Oh, yes.
Kane and Jarrus. Kane and Jarrus.
One episode.
And
That's
others.
it.
I mean, there's...
Then it defaults back to the same. Actually, you know what? I know that we were
again...
talking about the movies, but now we're talking about Star Wars in general, so...
Yeah.
God damn.
I mean,
Honestly,
by your criteria, that means 90% of all heroic fiction is bullshit. So, I mean,
Well,
hey, that's your opinion. That's your opinion.
Because it is. Let's be honest here.
I disagree, but hey, if that's your opinion, I can't convince you otherwise.
What we're failing to realize here is that it's all bullshit and it's all bad for us.
So why not enjoy it? Why not just have fun with it?
I tried.
Okay.
Honestly, I tried to enjoy Rebels, but goddamn, Ezra just kills the entire thing for me.
Mind you,
He gets better. He gets better in the fourth season.
Mind you, ladies and
when he
gentlemen,
finally grows up.
Mind you,
I mean, he is...
Mind you, ladies and gentlemen, this is coming from the guy who absolutely adores Monster. What was it? Monster Matsume?
Monster Musume, yes.
Monster Musume.
Okay.
I know it's trash.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with liking trash.
Hey, at the very least, it isn't Era Manga Sensei.
Coop, were you the one? Who was it who was sharing me something from Aramongus? I think it was you, Coop.
Yeah, it was. It's because it was the JonTron reaction to.
That's
to that.
right. The JonTron
Okay.
reaction. Okay.
We
Now I
got
remember
so
where it came
far
from.
off topic. Okay. I don't even remember if I gave my complete thoughts of the prequels, other than I thought they were decent enough films. Attack of the Clones is probably the weakest. We got some very clunky
Again,
dialogue throughout all of it, except when you look back at the original trilogy, that also had clunky dialogue. Let's not get into that. Clone Wars could have been cut up into episodes and inserted into this, but it was more of a proof of concept, so I get it, George. And we still have 2 more prequels to talk about, technically. Solo,
Solo and Rogue One. Do you want to talk about those here?
Solo, I can't talk about it. I have it somewhere in here. I still haven't seen it.
And I haven't seen it either.
I would recommend seeing it. Can I give you my pitch for why it's worth seeing?
Yes.
I mean, I kind of did already. It does the one thing I've wanted the Star Wars prequels to do from the get-go. Focus on the characters and the characterization. Like, yeah, you're right. The plot of it is pretty predictable. It's about Solo when he's still a criminal. It doesn't give all of his backstory. It just gives basically like how he met Chewie, which is pretty close to what we know about it before. Honestly, of all the Disney movies, this one has the most stuff just randomly referencing the EU and other movies. Like, half of Lando's dialogue is stuff clipped from the old Lando Adventures book written back in the 80s. Talking about mind harps and other stuff and Vufi Ra and all that. But it focuses on Han Solo as a character. Focuses on like kind of how he got to be not all the way where he was, but you can see like from the end of the movie, because here was my biggest concern for the movie before I saw it. One, that it would just be about how Han Solo learned not to give a shit. 'Cause when we find him in A New Hope, he's at his lowest point. He seems like just another thug, another guy who doesn't give a shit. But we find out he has a heart of gold and he does the right thing by the end. So, well, how do we get to that point before then? Well, it's basically going to be the movie shitting on Han Solo the whole time to show why he doesn't give a shit anymore. And it doesn't do that. But it does show, like, yeah, Han Solo is the kind of guy who has a lot of dumb ideas. Maybe needs Chewie more than he lets on. But is still the person who in the end will do the right thing. And that's what this movie is. And it's about his character. It's about Chewie, too. And it's about Lando and how much of a piece of shit Lando is. A lovable bit. Crispin Glover? Yeah, Crispin Glover. Donald Glover. Sorry, different Glover. Donald Glover is great as Lando. Note perfect. Just what you want out of him. And, I hear other people saying, like, oh, I don't really believe forget the name of the actor who plays Han. Don't really believe, like, I see him as a young Han. I can buy him as a young Han who's inexperienced, still learning. Because that's what this movie is about, Han getting on the path that will take him to where we meet him in A New Hope. And to its credit, like, one of the things that bothers me me about like some of the Star Wars stuff is the need to take us right up to where it's going to pick up. Like, we'll get into my thoughts on Rogue One, but I was disappointed that it went, it basically goes right up to, them handing the plans to Leia, and then we get, not Carrie Fisher going, and it gives us hope. And it's like, okay, well, there goes, like, we could have imagined any way of those plans getting to her in the next movie, but we got to go right up to, where the next movie picks up with no room for our imaginations. Like, that's the neat thing, like, say, between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, and between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, our imaginations can go wild about what happens in between, and aside from some comics and some other tie-in stuff,
and some,
the movies don't tell us.
And some books that used to be canon but no longer are.
Nothing of value was lost. Again, fight me IRL. Nothing of value was lost, because everything that was valuable has been slowly creeping back in. Like your Thrawns, like your, all kinds of stuff that slowly... Because what's happening with Star Wars is the same thing that happened to DC Comics back when they did Crisis on Infinite Earths. Before Crisis on Infinite Earths, the continuity was too unwieldy. Too many comic books written about the same character but doing different things, and no one could tell what was canon, what wasn't. And honestly, Star Wars EU was getting to the same place. And so Disney did the same thing that DC Comics did in Crisis on Infinite Earths. Clean slate. Except for the things that are really popular, we'll keep those. But everything else...
For those of you... Sorry, not to interrupt, but for those of you who are watching, and I think we have 2 new viewers, then feel free to type in the chat to share your opinions.
Sorry, it was my bullshit.
We just lost one.
Oh, boy. You acknowledged them. That was the problem.
No! No!
Oh, no, I'm seen!
Just like, oh, shit, gotta get the fuck out of here.
There you go.
That's fine.
Yeah, the Old Republic was so popular that they still have it stricken from canon.
All I want...
Is it really that popular, though? And I mean, like, the games are still playing.
What I...
Like, here's the thing. Yes, they're not canon, but it's not like they're gone. Yeah, Disney is not going to come to your house, take your old EU books, and take them away from you. The books are still there. The games are still there. I mean, now the games, there's the problem of, can you still play them on current hardware? But it's all still there.
At least they acknowledge. At least they acknowledged that that Han and Leia got married. Though, I would love to see, and I mean love to see, the movie rendition of the courtship of Princess Leia.
We are jumping all over this fucking timeline.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, okay, so let's.
I would recommend revisiting that book, because I did recently. It doesn't hold up as well as you might think.
It was a dumb romance
Han
novel.
uses a rape gun on Leia.
Yeah,
at least a roofie gun.
Yeah,
it doesn't hold up.
It's pretty scummy. Not to mention there's the entire race of
Night Witches and Dathomir, which is still part of canon. It's in Rebels. It's in Clone Wars. They took the cool bits, the parts that hold up. They brought it in. That's what I'm saying.
You know what?
It might take some time, but they'll bring all the good stuff back. Just trust me on this. Is what happened to DC. It'll happen to Star Wars.
You know what? If I could give credit to frickin' Dave Filoni and his team,
Please do.
They tried their damnedest to bring Starkiller into canon. They tried their fucking damnedest. But I think the exact reason was we couldn't find a way to make him balanced.
Well, there's that, and just it is kind of very much this works in video games as a medium and only in video games as a medium.
Unfortunately.
I mean, look, again, as a video game, those are great, and I'm not saying those shouldn't exist. Why can't there be like the equivalent of Elseworlds? They had those at one time. Like they did they didn't call them Elseworlds, but the kind of the what ifs for Star Wars for like the first 3 episodes, for A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. They had those. They made the what if this one thing went differently? How would the story then proceed and turn out? Why not
I would actually buy a film based on the what ifs.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now that we've discussed the concept of
they're gonna do a Marvel what if movie apparently.
All right. Okay. Hold on. Okay.
I still haven't discussed fucking Rogue One yet. Fuck off.
Okay. Yeah,
fair.
that's right.
Do your thing on Rogue One.
RJ apparently has been dominating this entire conversation.
I'm sorry. I have been a lot of time driving between appointments to work, and I have a lot of time just to think to myself, and it's usually about Star Wars. I'm sorry.
We got our Star Wars weeb here, folks.
It's true.
Meanwhile, I'm more of the casual fan who sort of takes things through a fine-tooth comb, but doesn't really actually care.
Would you say that you are combing the desert?
We ain't found shit.
We ain't found shit.
Hey, have you found something that makes sense yet? Nothing yet, sir. How about you? You guys found it? No, not quite, sir. And what about you guys? Motherfucker, we ain't found shit that makes sense over here. What was George Lucas thinking?
Now that would be a great remake of Star Tours. Not Tours. Oh my God, Star Tours! Did I literally just say that? Wow, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, that's okay. No, that's right. We knew what you're talking about.
Spaceballs.
No, that would be
Spaceballs.
Spaceballs, the movie.
Maybe it'll happen in Spaceballs 2. The search for more money.
Yes. Or no wait.
You listening, Mel Brooks?
Mel,
you hear us? We're
No. Even better. Spaceballs 2. The mouse strikes back.
Jesus Christ. That's a little bit on the nose. There's no beating on the bush on this one.
Is Mel Brooks officially retired?
No.
No,
I think he just recently made a film.
I didn't.
It was Rick Moranis who retired.
Oh, man. Rick Moranis. Homie.
So, I mean,
we understand you had to go, but we miss you.
Well, also, we lost John Candy, so,
Right. Also, morning till we join you, John.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we did get the frickin' Spaceballs animated series, but it's not the same.
It really isn't. It's Spaceballs, the boob joke movie. Cartoon.
Spaceballs was just this. That was the sci-fi parody movie, really. They took shots at everybody.
They really did.
Yes,
Even
they
going
did.
so far
they
as to
did.
poke fun at Alien, having John Hurt do a very similar role.
Well, that tends to be though. That tends to be his style of filmmaking. Whenever he does a movie, it tends to capture all of the genre, like Men in Tights. Mel Brooks captured everything about every
Robin Hood
movie up to that point. When it came to Dracula Dead and Loving It, made fun of every kind of trope that every Dracula film had ever done.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I mean, okay, now what was it? My favorite of them all, Blazing Saddles. That was literally every Wild Western movie at the same time completely making fun of sexism. Not sexism, racism.
Yeah.
Oh, and sexism. Yeah. Both of them, really, but mostly...
both, yeah.
Mostly racism.
God, that one line with Gene Wilder where he's talking to the other sheriff, he's talking about the common folk, hardworking Americans, people,
people
just
of the land.
People of the land,
idiots.
Morons.
Oh, morons, that's right, morons.
And the other guy just trying, you can tell this was totally ad-libbed, and the guy's trying to bite back laughter.
You can see it in his see it in his face.
Gene Wilder's delivery on that is just again, mwah,
morons.
Again, Gene Wilder, morning till we join you.
One of my favorite parts though is a man who drinks that much and does not eat will die. And Gene Wilder goes, when? I don't know why, but that line just hits me so hard.
It's good. By the way, Coop, I should let you know we have our first request in the stream, and the request is to tell you that you're a dork.
Wait, what?
Use a dork!
Wait, where? What is this?
from Sasha, someone has to tell Coop he's a dork. So that our first request, and now that request has been fulfilled. So,
oh, well then.
Good job, us.
So, pay
Good
us.
job, us.
Well, I am proud to own the fact that I am a whale's penis. That means that I am well endowed. How about
first, folks?
How about that,
This is
Sasha?
a,
How about that?
This is a Coop exclusive.
Eyebrow.
An exclusive scoop on Coop.
Man, it keeps going back to sex on this one, doesn't it?
Hey, sex sells. Hey, Morty. Sex sells. Sex sells what?
Exactly, Morty.
All right, so go on
Rogue
about
One?
go on about
Sorry.
Rogue One.
Sorry.
What about
Sorry,
fucking
Ed.
Rogue One?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, about what I was gonna say. All I know is
Sorry.
I was gonna say that the movie drags on for a little too long, but the last 20 minutes is the best 20 minutes I've seen in Star Wars in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's about what I was going to say.
That final
Go for it.
battle was awesome. I mean,
Oh my god, so good.
and also Vader as a horror scene.
We've
Can
discussed
I-
this before?
Can I make you guys mad for a second?
No, yes.
Didn't do that scene affected me about as much as watching Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan cut up battle droids in Phantom Menace, which is to say, all right, yeah, this is a nice bit of CGI.
No, but
But it would have been so much more affecting if there had been actual stakes. What's at stake in that scene? Some guys who are going to die in the next movie anyways to stormtroopers.
And what the point?
The entire thing was beneath Vader.
May I?
The only thing that would make that scene work is if he was yawning the entire time he was doing that.
Well, I mean, he probably was.
He basically was. We can all agree on this.
And yet he wasn't.
The whole.
And I was just kind of like,
this
would have made much more sense if this was happening about a half an hour earlier to our main characters.
The whole point was to basically try to re-emphasize how dark and scary Vader actually is.
I mean, fair, but did we really need that? Because Vader was always dark and scary.
I wanted it so bad. Like, I want a Vader movie.
I wanted it too, but again,
I want a Vader movie
in that scene.
that is completely built around like a horror film.
Sure, I wanted that too, but that's not what we got. What we got was
this one ad
Vader
nauseum.
taking out chumps, in a video game cutscene, while absolutely nothing was at stake. Here's what's at stake in that scene: the lives of those same-faced troopers, which that's a thing I'll get into when I want to compare. Because I recently watched, because I have this argument all the time with people who say like Rogue One's the best Star Wars movie ever, and I'm like, it's fine. That last third act, real good. The first two are confused and jumbled and don't make a whole lot of sense, and the entire motivation of the characters of the second act is thrown out the window in the third act because it's time to go a fight. And we're just going to ignore the previous motivations and give them a whole new set of motivations. But okay, fine, whatever. Good third act, but it should have ended when Jyn and Cassian were enveloped by the blast of the Death Star. It should have been cut to credits right there. And Vader should have come along with Krennic. Like, that whole scene with him and Krennic, like, I wanted to like Krennic as a villain, and the first third of the movie tries to build, but the whole second act is going, oh shit, what if people think Krennic is actually cool? He's not cool. He's not as cool. He's not as cool as Tarkin. Oh no, guys, don't worry. He's not as cool as Tarkin. Don't worry. He's not as cool as Tarkin.
Wait.
Too late.
Wait, guys, no, don't worry. He's not as cool as Vader. Don't worry, guys. He's not as cool as Vader. Don't worry.
Wait. Hold up.
Like I said,
Movie.
it's too late. Krennic was already cool in my eyes.
No.
He had some good scenes at the beginning, but like after that, it's just the movie clowns on him. He turns into Colonel Klink by the end.
We have look. We have a concept from Sasha over here. Vader and Krillin. But now this is what I want. Sansabine.
Oh my god!
So now we're gonna have a Vader gets owned count going in the corner.
Vader gets
Oh,
owned.
the Vader owned count.
I am your father.
No.
This. Okay, first of all, no. Second of all, go to hell!
I've been there.
What's happening?
I've been there and back again. I was trained by Popo.
Ding. Oh come on, that's not a cell phone.
Oh my god, the Emperor is Popo.
Good.
Do it.
Good. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Let the anger flow through you.
Let the anger flow. Let the anger flow.
Oh great, now I'm starting to sound like Cleveland. Now I'm starting to sound like Cleveland from Family Guy.
So be it.
I-
Saying.
Hey Fab. Hey, Luke, let the anger flow through you. Vader picks him up and starts to throw him over the edge. No. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why you should like, comment, and subscribe.
Hit that subscribe button.
Hit that
Hit
subscribe. Hit that power button.
Hit it, Chewie.
And also, be sure to hit that bell icon to stay updated with notifications, because apparently you have to do that, otherwise this shit doesn't show up in your goddamn subscription feed!
You know, he's not wrong, ladies and gentlemen. That was a terrible attempt at doing a Bane impression.
Woo! Thank you, Sasha, for liking and subscribing.
Woo!
Part of the notification squad.
I refuse
Thank
to
you,
call
Sai.
it the
Thank you,
I
Sai.
refuse to call it the notification squad. I refuse.
The notification squad.
That's what everyone calls it!
Yeah.
Wait, that's a thing?
It's a thing, apparently.
Yes!
What? Ew.
We're pressing it 3, 2, 1, and repress.
Alright, so are you done talking about Rogue One?
I'm done talking about Rogue One, Maggot. Overall, it wasn't a terrible film. It was pretty by the numbers, and you knew exactly where it was going to go.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am now presenting to you
Oh,
Star
dear God,
Wars
he's at it again.
Episode 4.
You were about to say episode 6, weren't you?
Now. Now.
What is
Yes,
it,
Guru.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, wait. Can you just picture Vegeta powering up to, and loses control of it? He loses control of trying to charge up for Super Saiyan 1 into his pants.
No.
I am the legendary.
Oh God.
What's wrong,
God,
Vegeta?
no.
Oh, boy.
Nothing. I gotta go over here right now.
Oh no. Oh God, no. Why?
Wow, Vegeta, how did you become a Super Saiyan? I wanna be a Super Saiyan! I wanna!
Push-ups, sit-ups, and plenty of juice.
Plenty of juice. Alright, anyway.
I am
So
not.
yeah, episode 4.
Plenty of juice.
And now is the part
On to the original
and now is the
trilogy.
part
I
that we
thought-
talk about
I
the
have
original
nothing-
trilogy.
I have nothing to say about the original trilogy. They're all solid films, but everyone agrees that Empire is the best out of all of them.
Okay, here. May I put in my 3 cents?
Basically.
So,
Go for it, yeah.
I'm gonna put in my 6 cents, so 2 cents for each one.
Okay.
So, first one. Fun, solid film, can easily just stand on its own, and that just simply be Star Wars. However, it is campy as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. Yes, It is a cinematically, practically perfect film. It has cinematic symmetry. There's nothing wrong with it. It has great lines.
Right.
It does everything right. It's not nearly as campy as the first film. It builds on the first film.
Expands on it, yeah.
Yep. But, unfortunately, it does kind of require you to... Actually, I don't know. Do you think it requires the first film to stand on its own?
Empire?
Yeah.
Not entirely.
I kind of think it does, because you don't really get the full impact without what came before. I think it depends on the first movie, I think, more than any other movie depends on it.
Okay. So then what I'm going to say is,
I
want to say that Jedi probably requires the most knowledge of the previous films to understand its impact. But I can't really find much wrong with Empire at all. It's solid music, solid storytelling, great visuals, cinematic symmetry in terms of storytelling. Basically, each scene mirrors the one in reverse at the end of the film, leading up to the central point. Mm-hmm. But my downside is that it actually still isn't my favorite out of the three. I admit that it is a perfect film, and it is amazing, and it is the best out of the trilogy, but it is not my favorite film.
Mm-hmm. Which would be, I'm taking it,
Return of the Jedi.
Thank you.
Return of the Jedi, hell of a lot of fun, wonderful film, just sit back and enjoy the final climax of it all.
Yeah.
It's beautifully choreographed. It's very well shot. Like most Star Wars films, it has the fault of kind of starting in the middle of something. We're like, what the hell?
Yeah. But that's, again, leaves it wide open to your imagination of how the heck did we get here to this point?
Yeah, which means it does require the viewing of the previous films to get to this film. But
I'm not sure that's a negative.
That dogfight at the end is incredible. And considering the original, like the era in which that it was originally built and made in and filmed in, he did all of that cinematography with tiny little models.
Yeah.
Stop action,
it's amazing.
Tiny little models.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many ships all the place, all the time. It is nuts. And that final, and just the build-up of that.
All filmed on the green screen.
That tension. Well, yeah, of course. Oh, yeah. But that they were still practical models, and that tension that you can just like cut with a knife between Vader and Luke as they're like just kind of standing there, waiting to get to the Emperor. Just it was so good. For me, it was entertaining, and you know what? I'm sorry, folks. I still actually do enjoy the Ewoks. It's just a fun.
Ewoks are great, actually, and I'm going to stand by that. They're creepy and cute.
They are creepy and cute, and
perfectly square teeth.
It's just I enjoy the original version. I enjoy the digital remastering, which adds like the Fall of the Empire cinematics. So they added some of that CG in there. Even though it's dated, I still enjoy it.
Sure.
But I cannot stand the DVD remake where they got rid of the actor who basically stood in as Vader when they replaced him with Hayden Christensen.
Oh, right. Talking about Sebastian Shaw, yeah.
I'm like, he had one role. He had one job. He had one point in all of Star Wars, and it was just to stand there and pretend to be Vader.
Yeah.
Or be Anakin. And I'm like, And you robbed him of that. You robbed him of that glory.
He still gets to be the guy in the suit when Luke takes the mask off.
Mm.
Which, oh my god, can you imagine him trying to do that digital effect? Trying to make that somehow look like Christian Hayden?
Well, I mean, he's supposed to look all warped and old and gross.
Yeah.
But still, it's like, don't... Everyone else who's a Force ghost apparently has aged.
De-aged.
You know, everyone else aged as a Force ghost. Why didn't Anakin?
They were at the age when they died, basically.
Oh, so what you're saying?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that your argument is that's when Anakin died is when he became Vader. My mind literally was just blown.
Except the problem comes back to life for all of 10 minutes.
No.
Toss Palpatine into the...
Yeah. I still don't think it's a good change.
No, it's not a good change, but that's an interesting concept because it goes along because it goes along with the line of that Vader killed Anakin.
Sure. From a certain point of view.
From a certain point of view.
Obi-Wan, you bloody liar. You Merlin, you.
Yeah, well, either way, if I...
Skywalker and became Darth Vader, so in turn, what I did tell you was true. From a certain point of view.
A certain point of view?
Insert the Robot Chicken musical number.
Ding, 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 ding.
Just... No, they legit did the fucking skit where they actually had Obi-Wan and Yoda sing a song about a certain point of view.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And it ends off on the incest angle.
Wait, you kissed your sister?
Again, more parallels to Merlin. What's that, Arthur? God, what was...
Hey, could you at least tell your Leia's my sister? I kind of have a lot riding on it.
Just then they, hey, from a certain point of view, something or other. Like...
Yada yada.
Look, could you be a little more specific? Because we kind of made out.
Just ooh, yeah, she is totally your sister. Sorry about that.
Oh, shit.
And now she's making out with your best friend.
Now she's schnozzing your best friend, and the actress is dead.
Oh,
everyone you know and love is dead.
Oh, too soon.
Again, morning till we join you, Carrie.
It's been a fucking year, Christ.
I still miss her. Wait, hold on. I still miss her. From now on, Krillin's gonna be.
And if you're a stormtrooper, you always missed her.
Oh!
Except for that one time in Return of the Jedi, but.
Well, okay. Now, mind you, the one time. Now, mind you, that wasn't necessarily a point blank shot. That was a cone range attack.
Well, no, that's the one in A
New
Hope. I'm talking about the one in Return of the Jedi where she gets clipped in the shoulder, and we get a mirror of the "I love you, I know" scene.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That everyone forgets about.
Yeah, you're right. Anyway, okay, so then Anyway, so I put in my... I thought that was going to be 6 points, but that ended up being 10 points. Or 10
That's
cents,
okay.
But whatever.
That ended up being an entire essay, but now we move on to the...
Well, don't you want to give your thoughts?
Yeah. Get in your thoughts on the prequel. Not the prequels.
On the
original.
OG?
On the OG.
Yeah.
I don't have any points to give. They're just a bunch of good movies.
All right, then, moving on. RJ, your thoughts.
Okay. Mostly agreed with you on how you rank them. Star Wars is great, though I do want to point out it's because it's been around the longest, but people forget how weird that movie is, and it's weird in a delightful way.
It is.
We spend the first 15 minutes with a pair of actors in one in a full metal suit, the other one in a tiny box on roller skates. And they, for the first 15 minutes of the movie, I mean, sure, we get a great opening, show-stopping, one of the greatest openings in cinema, and I want to compare between Rogue One and A New Hope. When we get those same-faced guys in that little hallway with Vader, like, literally, I assume that's CG just because it looks like they took one model of dude in a computer game and just multiplied him 10 times. In A New Hope, we zoom in on them, and, like, there's that one guy who's, like, just, like, really old and, like, looks like he's close to retirement. Like, they're doing that joke that he's 2 days from retirement. No, he's caught by the Empire, and he's about to die. That, like, it's, like, 3 seconds worth of business of, like, focusing on him as he's, like, blinking and, like, oh shit, oh god, oh shit. It's great, and it gets so much personality in these guys who you know are about to die horribly. And I just want to put that in there for comparison, because I watched these two back to back recently, because someone's saying, like, you're too hard on Rogue One. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll watch it again back to back with A New Hope. And I must report I like A New Hope better than Rogue One, and I think Rogue One gets more out of A New Hope than The New Hope gets out of Rogue One. I'm just gonna put that there.
Duh.
Yeah.
I think that just goes without
goes
saying.
without saying. I shouldn't be controversial, but apparently is.
Come on.
In some conversations I've had where people are like, no, Rogue One's way better. I'm like, are you smoking something?
Well, I do want to point out one thing, that after watching Rogue One, it really does make Leia look like a sassy bitch, doesn't she? That she has the balls to just say, we're on a peaceful diplomatic mission, even though, like,
he watched them fly off, yeah.
Exactly. And he's just looking at her like, you cunts, you think I don't know what you did? Go to your room.
Yeah.
You're grounded.
Go to your room.
Shut up. I watched you fly away. Shut up. Just
That's it.
take her away.
Just as punishment, I'm gonna blow up your planet.
And that's not the big plot hole that people say it is. I don't care about that. Like, fine, yeah, just lay us some big brass ones. I mean, the thing I find unbelievable in Rogue One is that she would just sit on that ship the whole time while that battle was going on and not contribute at all.
Yeah.
Because, like, the coolest...
Alderaan bits everywhere!
The coolest thing about Leia is, like, yes, when we first meet her, she's immediately spitting fire. She kills a stormtrooper right off the bat.
Yeah.
And then, she's got that interrogation scene, and she shows, some good, real emotion when her planet's blown up. As soon as our heroes find her, she completely hijacks the entire operation, and it's wonderful.
Mm-hmm. This is why I believe that. This is why I say. This is why
it makes me. Oh, go ahead.
This is why I say I tend to compare Princess Leia to Twilight Princess's Princess Zelda.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's a
take shit
badass.
from nobody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like and she's my favorite female protagonist out of all of the Star Wars films.
Sure. No, she's great. She's great.
She is a solid rock.
Yeah.
Her personality.
If we're doing an every Star Wars ever of, like, just all the things that are Star Wars, up near the top of that list is going to be Leia Organa Solo.
Yep. If I may, may
not be the tippity top, but top 10 material.
Okay, I'm gonna have a segmentation between the traditional trilogy and the new trilogy. That's it's almost to be completed. But I want you to finish your thoughts on the original trilogy.
Okay. Also, Han is a genius character.
It's a shame that it's a shame Harrison Ford hated that character.
I mean, I don't blame him. It's less that he hated the character more than he didn't want to be typecast, I think.
No, he said
he wanted to have...
He literally said multiple times that was the most boring character he's ever played.
Okay, well, he did his best, so
he was
credit to Harrison bringing his 100%.
When Han was finally dead. Just like, well, there were rumors he's going to come back. He was like, wait, who said that? Who said
I mean, I think...
he said that
what I've heard...
He originally said that he would never play Han Solo again. So I'm thinking, like, how much money did they give him to play that role?
Well, I think...
Well, what changed? Oh, the fucking money.
And the fact that they were going to kill him off in the film. Spoilers!
What I had heard is that he thought that his character's arc was done as of Empire Strikes Back, and that he, should have been killed off after that. And I can see that to a certain extent, but one of the things I hate in just fiction in general is when plot elements and characters become too utilitarian, and it's just like, well, this has served its purpose, time to throw it out entirely, time to kill that, because it's like I can see the artifice behind it, and it's like, and thus exits Han Solo, exiting left, pursued by a stormtrooper, and it's just like, just because a character has fulfilled their arc doesn't mean they need to leave the story. And honestly, I think what happens to him, and we'll get to this, but him being able to carry on, like what he does in Return of the Jedi of just being the general, and him getting to kind of start that relationship, or at least kind of fulfill that relationship, is good. I'm sorry, Harrison Ford, you were wrong. And and again, part of what makes his character so genius is, like I've been mentioning, up to the point we meet Han Solo, we just get weird thing after weird thing thrown at us. Our point of view is centered on a pair of droids for 15 minutes. Then we run into the Munchkin Brigade of Jawas that, kidnap them and throw them in a giant, movable, parallelogram.
Then we get whiny bitch who's living with his aunt.
We
his
get
aunt and uncle.
Luke, who's a bit of familiarity,
But I was gonna go to Tashi Station and get some power converters.
Shut up
Shut
up and pull out some water.
I'm going to recommend again how Star Wars was saved in the edit.
Huh?
And how Star Wars was saved in the edit. It's a YouTube video, and one of the things they mentioned, the genius thing is, in the original cut, we met Luke back during the battle in space. There's a scene where it cuts down to Luke and he's working on a moisture evaporator thing, and he has some binoculars, he's looking at the battle. And they're saying that was part of the original cut, and it was taken out because the genius thing is you don't run into any humans until it's absolutely necessary to meet him. Because Luke has a bunch of business where, he talks with Biggs a bit, we see his friends, but it doesn't really tell us anything other than, oh, hey, there's a human here. And up to that point, we have no idea if there are any humans on that planet. It makes it more mysterious. It makes it more threatening of like, they could just be on this abandoned world and no help is coming. But then we meet Luke, and it's like, oh, thank goodness there's a normal person. But wait, this can't be our hero. He's this kid. And he's whiny and impulsive, and he's just, he's a teen.
Wow,
sorry teens, but it's true.
How does that sound familiar?
And then you meet
that was Anakin fucking Skywalker!
Which came after, but we didn't have him back in the 70s, so this is... Luke is a revolutionary hero because he's not a lantern-jawed, hi, I'm the protagonist. Now, he's an unlikely hero, which was something new in the 70s, kind of. And then we meet Obi-Wan, who's this weird old, they couldn't get Toshiro Mifune, so they brought in, from Lawrence of Arabia, they brought in Alec Guinness.
Alec Guinness is and
he's kind of weird, too, he's so talking good about the Force and this magic system, and just drops that on you. Then we go to Mos Eisley, and there's all these aliens and people in Halloween costumes and everything, and then we meet Han Solo, the first normal ass person in the entire movie.
Before we meet Solo, we do meet the devil. We
meet the devil, yeah, we meet a Deveronian, but we meet Han Solo, the guy who says the things that we're thinking. Like, I don't know about this, taking some old man and some kid, I don't know, at least the money's good. And like, that's someone that, again, for people in the 70s, would have been like, that guy, that's my guy. I identify with this guy. He's a cool guy, and, he's not so sure about all this Force stuff, and he's, not sure about doing all this hero stuff. Yeah, he's just a cool dude.
He's a cool dude just trying to make a buck.
And he provides that bit of stability and normality. And again, the guy saying the shit we're thinking as we're watching the movie, at least what we would have been thinking had we watched it for the first time in the 70s and Star Wars wasn't an institution to itself.
Yeah, he is the most normal person out of the entire series.
Yeah. Him and his best friend, his dog.
He and his dog. And then there's wait, and then there was Dak. Oh wait, he died.
What?
I said, oh wait, but there was also Dak. Oh wait, he died.
And died. He's Empire, and that's basically what I want to say about Star Wars. Is like, yes, like it's the one that started all, and it's the one that seems the most normal, but only because it's been around the longest. It's actually really weird, and I'll make a comparison to it again in the future. Hang on for it.
Okay.
But it's weirder than you remember when you really stop and think about it.
Yeah.
And it's just it's
kind of the original trilogy. Well, I mean the whole thing really. It's kind of a Western soap opera in space.
It's a fairy tale
with wizards.
Yeah,
it's straight up a fairy tale.
I mean, fairy tale. Yeah. I mean, okay. Question.
There are parallels you can make to the story of King Arthur, to Luke, but also to samurai films and Flash Gordon, and like Lucas took all the things he was into and jammed them all in together, and what we got was Star Wars.
What do you think I do with my storytelling?
At a time when D&D was at the height of its power, at a time when we were just coming off Star Trek, at a time when nerds were really starting to come into their own, and they were ready for a movie like that. And the weirdest thing is, Lucas wasn't trying to make a movie by committee to appeal to these people. This is just the stuff that he was into, and apparently what everyone else was into at the time too, and all of us ever since too, kind of.
Yeah,
I think we could wrap up the original trilogy by just saying one thing: Pokemon religions and ancient weapons are no match for a blaster at your side, kid.
Until Vader rips it out of your hand and laughs. Next movie, the movie that upsets all your expectations. Everything you know is wrong, and that's kind of like
everything you know is wrong. Up is down, straight is.
Okay.
Yes.
Left is
Talk
right.
about the Force Awakens.
Something.
Nope, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Hang on to that thought.
Are we not?
No, we're not.
No, I haven't even talked about the other two movies in the original series yet.
What the fuck have we been doing?
He's been talking
You've been
about
doing that.
He's been talking.
I've been talking about A New Hope.
You were talking about both Empire and fucking Jedi. You basically covered everything.
Not yet, I haven't.
Not truly.
Hold on to your butt.
Cornhole. Bullshit. Cornhole.
Hold on to your butt.
Bullshit.
Sit down.
Cornhole.
Star Wars fan, sit down.
Pause.
Yep.
God
Ed,
damn.
Calm your tits. Now, RJ,
No.
RJ, if you wouldn't mind keeping it a little bit more simplistic. I know you have a lot to say on this subject, but
Sure.
we don't have a lot of time.
I will move on quickly from this point on.
I'm limiting us to only an hour left because
Okay.
you're really blowing this up here.
I know. Empire is everything you said. It's great, but part of what makes it great is it upsets everything we thought we knew going into it. It turns everything on its head in a way that expands it way bigger, while also kind of drawing things in. But we'll move on from that. Like you said, from a technical point of view, if you want to tell me what's the best Star Wars movie, I would probably tell you that one. But like you,
that's right. Hold on.
Return of the Jedi is my favorite.
I'm playing
for all the reasons you mentioned.
I'm playing the Force theme on acoustic guitar. While you talk.
All the Force shit in Empire Strikes Back, love it. My favorite part of that movie is all the stuff about the Force outlining it, and Yoda is great in it. Return of the Jedi, though, is my favorite for all the reasons you mentioned, but also literally everything from when Luke turns himself into Darth Vader, all the scenes with the Emperor, oh my god, just Ian McDiarmid devouring the scenery, just again, mwah, chef kiss, mwah. All of that is some of my favorite shit in Star Wars. And yeah, Return of the Jedi is probably my favorite movie, other than one other possible challenger, but we'll get to it in a second.
Are we finally done?
Yes, we may now talk about the sequel trilogy if that's what you really want. I know you love it so much.
Let's talk about the dumpster fire. Not
What
yet.
dumpster fire? I mean, you talking about the fans? I mean, I agree. The fans are a bit of a dump.
No. Let's first of all, let's get out of the way.
They got what they deserved.
Fans in any fandom are all trash, and we all just admit this and move on.
No disagreement.
Let's talk about The Force Awakens. I've got...
What do you want to talk about?
There's really nothing to talk about. It's harmless. It's a rehash, but it's harmless. J.J. Abrams did a fine job basically setting up the blocks, as it were. Setting up the... That way, there's something there. Oh, there's Snoke. What's gonna happen with him? Why the hell does Rey have all these powers? Huh. Maybe that'll get explained. The Force Awakens is a decent enough film. If J.J. Abrams had been kept on to continue directing the other films, and we didn't get that fuckboy Ryan Johnson,
You keep his name out.
You keep his name out of it?
He did nothing wrong.
Oh, this is where it's gonna get meaty.
It's not his fault. You all
this is
took J.J. Abrams' mystery boxes, and for the fifth time now, let J.J. Abrams hold up the football, and he's like, "Oh, he won't take it away this time." You remember Lost? This is what J.J. Abrams does. He loves his mystery boxes. Hey, here's a mystery I'm going to set up. No, I don't actually have anything for it. It's just a mystery box for you to like and enjoy.
Written. Ryan Johnson just thrills out like, oh, because Kathleen Kennedy is another piece of fucking work.
Keep her name out of your mouth, too. She has way more talent than you do, my friend. Small friend. Keeping this ship afloat.
Fuck off! The only good thing she's ever done is ever figure out how to get people money. That's it. She is not a franchise runner.
Hey, you hear that sound?
I mean, that's a lot of work.
That was the sound.
You give
that was...
people...
Hold on.
Go for it. That was the sound of...
That was the sound of my popcorn being ready.
Oh, good.
I'm now sitting here,
and
this is the moment we've all been waiting
for.
for.
Fucking wanted, because I have no problems with the in Force Awakens. It's a rehash. It's a stupid action film, and I enjoy it. It's a good film. The Last Jedi
is beautiful.
I
love it. It's a serious contender for replacing Return of the Jedi for my favorite. It gives no shits what anyone thinks about it, and I love its bravery. It's beautiful. I love it. And it still manages to tell a good story. So I win twice.
Are you shitting me?
I am not. Last Jedi is amazing.
What drugs are you on? What drugs are you on? Where can I get some?
I'm on the drug called I like good things. I'm like, you don't like good things. That's fine. But that's your choice, not mine.
God.
There's nothing. Last Jedi did nothing wrong other than not give fans what they were bawling for.
Wait a minute, what's good?
And that's not the movie's fault. That's the fans' fault.
No, it's Ryan Johnson's fault, and you should be ashamed of yourself for indulging in his bad decision making.
He made the best decisions.
How?
Shall I walk you through it?
I'd love to hear your logic, because all I'm logic throughout the entirety of the Star Wars canon.
Here, okay, before RJ goes on, I would like to hear. First off, I would like to have us all agree that Force Awakens was a delightfully fun film. It did a good job of reflecting what the original trilogy was like, and it set up the pieces, was weird, was fun. It even had elements of the prequels that were delightful, and
the best elements of them.
And despite the fact that people call Rey a Mary Sue, being overly powered and whatnot, my argument here is this: the Force has awakened. Luke and Vader balanced out the Force. So now the Force is one of its own, and you don't necessarily need training. You need training to maybe hone it and become better at it, and to use the power that you have. But
something that fucking Ray never did.
But the thing is that if you have a natural sense of being able to survive, and this is something that comes naturally to you, I can understand this. I get this. Okay.
She's a Fallout protagonist.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
So I actually accept that. Now before we move on, I did want to make one extra point. And I mentioned this earlier. The thing about the difference between the emphasis of social justice in the newer films versus female characters in the previous one. Okay, so, and diversity in the previous films. So,
of which there was very little.
There was very little,
a sausage
but
fest.
It was definitely a very white sausage fest. Hey, look! It's the only man. It's the only black man in the universe. Hey, look! It's another woman. It's the second woman in the universe. I don't like her.
Yeah.
But the female characters, though they be few, have always been strong, dominant characters. And Leia, who was the original female character, was the strongest and most competent out of all of them.
Yeah.
She was incredible.
That's the idea they had, was making her General Leia. That's what she always was.
She was a fantastic character. You don't, I'm glad that there's more diversity. Like, for example, all right, cool. So now we have now that we see in the new movies, we see all sorts of colors and all sorts, and male and female, and also alien races, in fighter pilots talking back and forth to each other. I'm like, all right, this is cool. I can get behind this. And then it's like, and then that's over. It's like, okay, cool. I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, oh, cool. It's nice to see this diversity. Moving on. And then it felt like it started to really push it. And unfortunately, also the politics behind the films were pushing it because of the politics of today and whatnot. And I feel like the films aren't at fault, but the politics of today and the politics behind the films are mostly what is actually angering the fans, which once again we all agree the fans are the trash. We are the trash fodder. All right. We are literally preaching to the crowd, preaching to the choir here,
okay.
Or figuratively.
No,
but what I'm saying is that it's like so. People out there who there aren't many listening right now, but those who are listening in the future, Star Wars always had strong female characters. The 80s films always had strong female characters. This has always been a thing.
Did too.
And the prequels did too. Yes. I mean, we saw
what they did to Natalie Portman in the third movie.
Yeah. I was going to say.
But Natalie Portman in Phantom Menace, great.
Yep.
Great.
Oh, absolutely.
And in Attack of the Clones, also great.
Yeah. Well, not bad.
Not bad.
I just felt like there was a degradation of her character over time.
Yeah. Well, falling for Anakin. Yeah, we'll do that to you.
Yeah, she became
the love interest.
Yeah, she became less of a hero and more of a typecast mom.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, now you're just the wife.
You are the vessel for the characters we care about in the next trilogy.
Yep. God, that's really sad. You're a vessel for progressing Vader and the other characters. But it's just Disney. You don't have to push an agenda.
can I disagree with you?
Star
Wars has always been political.
It has
in
been.
the original trilogy.
No, it has been.
Prequel trilogy. And I'd say just as much as it is now. Remember when Star Wars first came out, right after the Vietnam War?
I agree.
And what is it about? Here's big technological military.
It never felt like it.
You never saw it back in the 70s. I mean, I didn't either, but talking to people who did, they definitely this is about the Vietnam War, and our heroes are not the U.S. military. Our heroes are the Viet Cong in Star Wars.
Oh.
Yeah.
And a lot of people fought with Lucas about the prequels over George Bush and
what's his face in Britain? Yeah, same.
Yep.
They were always political.
They were always political.
They were more about war and what causes war and who are necessarily the good guys and bad guys. But they were always political.
And war feels a little different now. It feels more like it's digital and emotional rather than...
or emotionless.
Or emotionless.
Just checking.
But you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I did. That's why I asked.
Rather than
visceral and in your face.
Land, visceral, in your face. Fighting over what each country has, etc., and their ties together. So it's. I see where you're coming from, and I you know what, I expect and respect your I see and respect your argument. I do a lot, actually. You've opened my eyes a little bit more once again, and but at the same time, I still hold to the fact that I think it was still a bit overly done. Because it's like,
I mean, that's fair.
Because it's like you don't have to push the fact saying this. It's like with Marvel with Captain Marvel. It's like you don't just have to straight up say this movie isn't for white men. It's like
why not? Not all movies are for everybody. Most horror movies aren't.
But at the same time, it's like I can still enjoy it as a white guy.
Sure, you can.
When you have
but that doesn't mean it's trying to please you as a demographic.
When you have your lead actress saying that she doesn't want white men seeing her film.
That's her choice.
That is her choice to say it. He's not wrong.
And honestly, I respect it.
But at the same time, it's
not a good PR move.
It feels like a kind of betrayal, because it's like, I want to see. I enjoy seeing the strength of women and minorities, and I hate using the word minorities because, god damn it, I mean, like, when you look at the actual earthly demographic, whiteies are actually the minority.
Sure.
And
that's a statistic they conveniently leave out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you don't have to keep pushing it anymore. We're practically already there. I'm really happy and glad for you guys. Like, honestly, keep it up. Keep moving forward. I want us all to be connected and together, but I don't want it to be shoved down my throat.
All I'll say to that is that the whole X is being shoved down my throat. Rarely do I see it when people truly agree with something. It's almost always when it's something that deep down the person doesn't agree with and doesn't like seeing. Most of the time. 90% of the time.
Now, please, trust me. I have been raised by very, very strong women. And I respect. There's no sexist bone in my body. There's no racist bone in my body. I've lived with, and I grew up in the Captain Planet era, for crying out loud.
Sure, but let me tell you something. I don't want to believe that about myself either. but I know they're in there because I was still raised in a culture that did value those things that was out there, and I try my best to tamp them down, but I'm always suspicious of questioning myself of like, wait a minute, is this a point where I am maybe having an unexamined opinion that was just told to me and I accepted it without thinking? Let me really think about this, you know? I mean, because I think I do somewhere. I mean, I don't like the fact that I have a racist bone in me or I have a sexist bone in me. That doesn't mean I don't have one. So I'm always interrogating.
I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with having stereotypical humor.
Like one song says, everyone's a little bit racist.
I mean, look, I have always lived in a community with mixed cultures, and I work with men and women with mixed cultures, and they're always snapping and cracking jokes, and as soon as I do, they go, "You can't do that because you're a white guy." I'm like, isn't that a reverse? I mean, isn't that also race sexism right there? Isn't that also?
It's not, because of the context. Because your ancestors were never stolen from their homes, dragged across an ocean, forced to work for centuries with no pay.
That wasn't me, though. That wasn't me, though.
Doesn't matter, because no one ever did anything about it. Reparations never happened.
But that wasn't me, though.
Doesn't matter. You're still reaping the benefits from it. You still reap the benefits of what happened.
Benefits.
Not the people who gave you those benefits. The people who did all that work.
Those people are fucking dead.
Doesn't matter. Context doesn't care about your feelings. Sorry, my friend.
Neither does the rest of the fucking planet. These people should just grow the fuck up.
And that is why they will never trust you.
Wow. Okay, Ed. Chill. Okay, Ed. Chill the frick out. I'm trying to take this in a more diplomatic. I'm only on a diplomatic mission, and Ed comes in, throwing around his lightsaber.
These are what we call aggressive negotiations. Fuck off.
To bring it back to Star Wars.
Sure.
That was, you know what, RJ? You gave me a good challenge and run for my money. I can't decide if you were being serious,
high praise.
Or I can't decide if you were being serious or just playing devil's advocate.
I was being 100% serious, my friend. I owe this conversation nothing less, and I'm honored that you feel that way. So thank you. That's the most I could have hoped for. I went into this thinking I would change no one's mind on anything. So that's a win. That's a win in my book already.
Oh yeah, no. I just, for me, I just feel like.
Okay, that's fair.
I just, you know, like, I just feel like, you know, it's unfair for me to be targeted since I have different values than my predecessors.
Sure,
and I must respect.
That's where progress comes from.
And I must respect the people who have been working hard who also came before me, from different cultures, and also people from my culture.
All of us are reaping the benefit of those who came before us.
Exactly, we are all standing upon other people's shoulders. To come to this point where we have this kind of a conversation, to be able to be able to say, for me to be able to say, I honestly just see everybody as everybody. There are stereotypes, and it's funny to expose it, but you know, as long as it's in good humor and not malicious, you know.
Sure. Just remember, there's always context.
There is always context, and I'm not going to. And I always care very carefully about how I use said context, because I do respect other. I do respect others. I want to treat others the way I want to be treated, so I treat others with love and respect.
That's a good first step.
Even if they frustrate me.
I mean, we'll do that too.
I mean, people are people. As Carl Sagan once put it, to us, all of these differences may seem extreme, but for an outsider looking in on this planet, our differences are minuscule in comparison to our similarities.
A good point. So was that Carl Sagan admitting he was an alien? Sent to observe us and judge us, maybe? And thankfully, hopefully found us worth keeping around?
Carl Sagan's like, okay, so, let me see if I can try to help these people.
Maybe that's what his series was all about. Who knows? Who knows?
Oh no, I'm loving this concept already.
His death was him just going back to his home planet, like, say, fuck him.
Perhaps his work here was done.
Uh-oh. Sasha says that, she's drunk. I need to make her laugh. Okay, what's a really good bad joke? Let me pull up one right here.
You know, when I came onto this stream, I wasn't expecting to be as pissed off as I am. But here you are.
Here I am.
Here I am. Absolutely fucking livid that someone's actually, like, hardcore defending The Last Jedi and then giving a whole goddamn SJW spiel.
Hey, Luke.
You know,
Luke.
they really need to work on the marketing for that.
Luke. Sasha, I have a joke for you.
Basically calling someone a superhero, so I'll take that title. Sorry I made you think and feel for a second.
What kind of car do I drive? A Toyota.
Womp womp.
Where do
that's part of being
where-
livid is that
where do Sith get their designer shoes? At the Darth Maul. Funny joke.
Oh god, Yoda, please stop. Yoda, stop. No more.
I mean, I'm sorry you're so mad someone likes a thing, but hey, that's you. You gotta do you. Sounds tedious, but hey, don't let me judge.
That's probably not the reason I'm actually mad. It's just the fact that that film had so much potential, and then the way I see it just went all down the drain for subversion after subversion after subversion after subversion, because that's all Rian Johnson knows how to do. We're going to subvert the expectations to the point where people are actively anticipating the subversion. It's tedious.
And I'm sorry you missed all the good things that came out of those subversions.
Hey,
Because it gave a lot of good stuff for each of those subversions.
Yes, absolute nobody. That was a good one.
I mean, again, sorry you missed it, but that's not on me. That's on you.
I have another funny joke for you.
Okay, explain it then.
All right, what would you like me to explain?
Wait,
You want me to explain the whole movie? That's a pretty tall order.
Oh God.
I have another funny joke for you.
What things were thrown away that you felt that nothing good came out of?
You guys are no fun.
Okay, first of all, let's talk about weaponized hyperspace. That's actually one of the dumbest things that come out of that film, in my opinion. Might even be dumber than the entire Canto Bight scene.
What's wrong with it?
Are you?
Explain yourself.
Wow.
You can't just throw something out and say like, well, obviously. No, explain yourself. What?
Wow.
I like it.
Here we go.
Explain yourself.
Here we go, bros. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Ding, ding, round one.
Okay.
What's wrong with it?
Let's talk about weaponized hyper. How in the blue blazing hell is this the first time anyone in the Star Wars universe has ever thought hyperspace a ship into anything? Really? You can't be telling me that in all the time...
There has to be a point at some point. It's like, for example...
It probably did.
They probably
all
did.
We know.
And
we don't know everything about Star Wars.
Wait. May I?
Okay, here's the real question. All those X-Wings and Y-Wings in A New Hope, they all had hyperdrive.
They may not have had enough mass to do the same amount of damage.
Ed, may I, please? In the same way that... how is it that it took them so long to finally figure that out? Well, first off, it didn't serve the story beforehand. But secondly,
That's part of it.
if you want
Also,
to,
again,
if you want, no, I'm talking.
Stop it.
I'm talking. I'm
Just
talking.
drown out your opposition.
Okay, look.
Politicians
In the
do it
same,
all the time, so fuck
in
it.
the same way, it's the same question of how is it that the universe has existed, RJ, how long?
Real long time.
A really, really long time. And so far,
I don't have an exact number in front of me.
so
Sorry.
far we don't know if we're the first time that life has existed and also has actually gained consciousness. Sure, probably it's happened before. Sure, probably there's other things out there again, but we have no evidence for it. Wow, how long has that happened? Has the universe just existed and now we're here? Same thing with this and storytelling. God damn it, it never served the story before, now it served the story here. La-di-da, move on.
I mean, it was a moment of desperate. Like, it's the same reason why the U.S. Navy doesn't just ram its ships into other ships. Yes, it would be highly effective, but those ships are expensive. This was very obviously telegraphed as a move of desperation when there was only one person on the ship.
And yeah,
and
by the way,
didn't even stop the First Order.
And speaking of which,
It
the
didn't-
rebels...
it slowed them down. That's it.
And speaking of which, the rebels were basically putting a whole bunch of random shit together to make those ships. They were a bunch of random chunks of bits, because they were rebels. They were a small group of people just grabbing whatever they could to fight against this empirical monster. Seriously, Ed, I'm actually going to call a negative point on you there.
My fucking god.
Sorry, man.
Next, Ed, please. Next point.
Next fucking point. Here's a pretty good question.
Okay.
Well, why didn't Holdo tell anyone what her plan was? She could have subverted the entire mutiny attempt.
I'm so glad you asked this. Let's remember what happens in the movie.
Oh.
So they make the jump to hyperspace, and they think they're safe. They think, okay, we're good. We at least got away. We lost a whole squadron of ships due to this one guy not obeying a direct order to get the fuck out.
Even
but
though
at
they
least
took
we're
out
okay.
a dreadnought.
Took out one of who knows how many dreadnoughts they have, and the rebels lost all of their granted shitty bombers, but they lost all. That is what we call almost worse than a Pyrrhic victory.
Here's the fun thing about small anarchist organizations. They're not exactly the smartest people.
Let me continue. So, okay. Then the First Order follows them. Now, we, the audience, know, because we're following Rose and Finn, that the Empire has a special tracking device. The rest of the people on that ship don't know that. All they know is they jump to hyperspace, which should mean we're in the clear, and then the First Order shows up. Now, if this is a role-playing game and the GM just described this happening, what is the first thing the players are going to assume is the problem? That's right, there must be a spy on board. And that is why you don't go telling your plan, which depends on the Empire not knowing what you're really doing when you're doing a big masquerade. Oh, look at this, watch this, while we do this little sleight of hand thing. That is why you don't tell them, especially someone who was just demoted.
And someone who also was recruited from the Empire.
I am sympathetic to Poe because the one thing he's good at gets taken away from him. His ship gets blowed the fuck up, and that sucks. And he's desperate to prove himself because, he just got demoted, but he knows he can be good, so he's trying to do whatever he can to think of. But if he had just sat and taken his lumps, they still probably would have and probably more people would have survived if he hadn't entertained. I mean, we only believe that Finn and Rose's plan is going to work because that's how Star Wars movies usually work. There is a cockamamie, way too complex plan, like the whole plan to rescue Han from Jabba the Hutt, which has like 5 different steps to it and involves getting most of the crew captured, or at least pretending to be other people. And so we assume, oh, of course, Finn and Rose's plan is going to work. The problem is the movie gives you all the clues to know that actually maybe we should just trust this person who Leia... Cooper, remind me again, who's the best female character in Star Wars?
Leia.
Leia. This person who Leia implicitly trusts to take over for her in the case that something happens to her. Maybe we should trust the best person in all of Star Wars. Maybe Leia is good at choosing people and seeing the good in them, like because a certain scruffy nerf herder. Because here's the thing: if Holdo's plan, the only reason why it fails is because Poe is telling what's going on to Finn and Rose while DJ is and DJ is maybe not a person you should trust with his whole, well, both sides, don't join. DJ, don't join. Maybe that wasn't a good idea. And the heroes and they pay for it. In the same way that, the heroes pay for it in Empire Strikes Back when they trust Lando, when Lando's probably not a person they should trust either. He proves trustworthy in the end. That's the one big subversion there with DJ is it turns out he doesn't have a heart of gold. But, that allows for the sacrifice, and honestly one of the most stunning cinematic scenes in a Star Wars movie in a long time. Like I'm glad you don't. I'm sorry you don't like it, but it's a beautiful scene.
I'm not arguing that it doesn't look pretty.
Oh, yeah, fair.
It looks stunning.
Yeah, it's great. I'm glad it's in there.
It looks nice, but pretty visual. Oh.
I mean, Star Wars gets a long way on pretty visuals. Lightsabers. Darth Vader's whole aesthetic.
Since we're on the topic, and if I may, and I know that you two have been going at it back and forth,
fair.
I'd like to have a little bit of a segment to kind of shuffle up the waters and cool them down a little bit.
Fair enough.
So, and this...
I ain't mad, but...
this yeah, I know you ain't mad. You're feeling pretty...
My time is now.
I feel like you're feeling pretty cocky.
Probably, that's true.
Now,
that's true.
now, mind you.
I will take my lumps.
So, I'm going to say a couple things here about the two of you here, and this is kind of a case study.
Okay.
Yeah. Ed is definitely very much opinionated, and he does reflect a lot of what most of the fans feel, and not only the traditional fans, but a lot of viewers feel. And RJ, you bring up a lot of really, really great points to counteract, and I think that they are all valid, just as equally as valid as the questions that Ed brings. But the thing is that I want to ask you,
okay,
how much of, since you said that you spent many hours between driving, thinking about this.
It's not a good reflection on myself, I realize.
Exactly. How much of this is actually you trying to... what's the word I'm looking for? Make sense of episode 8. Like,
I mean,
at first,
is that
at
not
first,
what we
I mean,
do for all movies?
Yes,
is
but I mean,
try to
like,
make sense of it.
I mean, like for example, like when I saw it, I really enjoyed it, though I had a lot of questions, and I was really kind of like, that felt weird. I'm not entirely sure if I liked how that went, because I mean, we all go in with and I usually try to just check my brain at the door, but this movie caused my brain to walk back to me, and and I was
that's
like,
kind of what I love about it.
And I was like, hey, what? And I was really frustrated with what's her name's character with the purple hair.
Holdo.
Yeah, Holdo.
Laura Dern.
Yeah, Laura Dern. Yeah, who's great.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
A lot of that character, a lot of those characters' decisions really did bother me.
Sure.
And I was really feeling for Poe. Poe, Doug.
Poe Dameron.
Poe Dameron, yeah, Poe, yeah. And I was like he gets it. Like, he's basically like the Han Solo. Like, he gets it. He feels like he knows what's going on. But I mean, so you've talked to me in depth about this film before, and I get that this film actually does actually reflect a lot about actual war, where there are, like, you don't want to reveal a lot of information to your sub people because you don't know, especially somebody who was once enlisted in the with the Empire. So that they could be a spy. That they also, and again, they don't know about. They seem to be acting a little anarchist, but at the same time, we're a very small group amount of people. We are faced against a huge, a huge incoming empire, and I get all of that.
And let me also say, like, I'm not trying to say that that Holdo was completely in the right. Just that the decisions she made with the information that was available to her, I can see where she's coming from.
Right.
Have you seen Community?
Hold on.
Okay, keep going.
I just want to get back to my actual question for you.
Okay.
That's actually going to challenge you.
I also do have something to say about
how much of you thinking this through has been you, here's the word, rationalizing the film.
I mean, is that not what we all do when we see a movie, is try and say, okay, this movie is giving me information, let me rationalize it. It may, I mean...
Well, there are certain
films...
What
I'm finding a little weird about your question is like, why is my, as you put it, rationalizing this film illegitimate when, any other film I watch, that rationalization would be?
I'm not saying it's rationalized. I'm not saying that it's illegitimate.
Okay.
It's just I'm presenting merely a fun, a playful question.
Sure.
I'm playing devil's advocate. Okay.
And I'm playing right along with you.
So. And
I'm saying, like, yeah, that's all me. That's not me taking other people's opinions. That's not any of that. That's just naturally how you do it. You watch a film, and then you process it, and you think I try to process it and understand it, and say, okay, what is this film trying to tell me?
Okay.
What is it? What is this film trying to teach me? If it's trying to teach me anything, maybe it's not trying to teach me anything. But that's part of the process of, okay, tell me what you're trying to tell me, film. Let me now try and see if I can make sense of what you're trying to tell me, and maybe when I get to the end of that, I might go like, oh, well, this is trying to tell me this, but maybe I don't believe that, or maybe I do, or maybe I get, in the best case, oh, this showed me something new that, well, now I have to consider this now, and maybe this is different than what I've seen before, or what I've assumed to be true before, and I've learned something. But yeah, no, that's, I assume that's no different than anybody else. I don't know.
I mean, you're probably a little bit more analytical than most. I think most people just immediately just jump into conclusions or their standard typecast of thinking, and I think you do appear to, like I do, try to look at all of the corners, and there are more corners than just 4.
Sure.
So
each of us is bringing a different set of experiences to the table, and sometimes a movie may not work for me, not because it's a bad movie, but just because I don't have the necessary frame of mind to understand what it's trying to show me.
Now, may I also say this? Ed, I apologize. I feel like I sound like I'm basically writing RJ's poll here.
I mean, you shouldn't do that. Sasha's watching.
Yeah.
But
I agree with a lot of your questions. it's funny. I tend to usually be the middle bridge between two different thought concepts. So I'm sitting here going,
And here we are.
I'm listening to Ed, I'm listening to RJ, I'm going, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is this? I'm agreeing with both of these people. I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to do. So please don't think that I'm completely dismissing your reaction to the films either. As a slight tangent,
Okay.
I need to use. I need to find a washroom. And,
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's gotta take a piss.
And so let's just throw in a friendly conversation in the mirror of space. Why don't you, for maybe 2 minutes, talk about Star Fox while I walk away?
Oh, what a great series.
Yep, Star
Never
Fox.
played it, so I
Go for
can't. I can't.
Oh, okay, Ed.
Oh, no.
Ed, okay.
Sorry,
in the interest of
I know I am.
No.
I'm
In the
available.
interest since RJ's been kind of dominating this conversation, why don't you pick the topic?
Yeah.
I don't know. You're putting a lot of pressure on me here.
You know what? Fine, Doctor Who. Go for it. Which one's the best Doctor? Go.
Oh fuck. That is a
back.
conundrum inside of an enigma that's been wrapped in Pandora's box, chained up and thrown into the frickin' canal.
That's the truth.
Yeah. Because they all have their good points. My personal favorites go between fucking Paul McGann and Christopher Eccleston.
You know, yeah. Christopher Eccleston doesn't get enough credit. He was a good Doctor Who.
When you take a look at like the entire thing of the Time War,
Yeah. Like, he really feels like real as a veteran.
it feels like he's still like fresh off the heat,
Yeah.
still bothering him.
Oh yeah, no, he's haunted by it.
When you take some of the expanded material, like after he Rose for the time, and then fucks off, before coming back, like 5 seconds later on the TV story, he spends like, there are a few good adventures he has on his own before he decides to come back and take Rose.
Yeah.
Overall, it's very interesting.
I forget.
Say that Tennant is the best, and while he has some good moments,
I like him, yeah.
actually no, that saying he has some good moments, saying slightly overweight. No.
He's good. I like David Tennant too, but yeah, no. Christopher Eccleston, he does a really good. Again, that being haunted by what he's done, and that it weighs on him. I think that gives his character a good hook for driving him for what he's doing. I agree with you. McGann also very good.
He
Great
doesn't
picks.
get nearly enough.
Most of the early series don't.
Well,
And it's a shame.
This isn't the early series. This is technically just 96 because that's all he got.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I rewatched the 90s, like I think it was about maybe a year or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good.
Good. Hey.
Sure, to be fair, it's Doctor Who being Doctor Who. Sure, it was done by an American team, but it was still felt like Doctor Who. Just like, yeah, there of course was going to be some stupid stuff. It's not the new series hasn't had its share of idiocy either. McGann played his role very well. In the Big Finish audio productions, I hear he's been absolutely killing it.
Good.
I haven't listened to any of them personally,
Yeah.
but apparently he's been doing very well. They did
Good.
they did that one mini-sode that was Day of the Doctor explaining how he regenerates into the War Doctor. It was a really damn good short story. I actually
Nice.
wanted more Paul McGann after.
Nice. I may have to check it out too. That's a new one to me, but that's more stuff to enjoy. Good.
Wait. You haven't seen Day of the Doctor?
No, the mini-sode that took place before. I think it was like
Yeah, that one.
Doctor, I think.
Oh, the minisode beforehand? Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing.
They released it on you, and it's also bundled in like the. Really good.
Well, now I know something I need to look into.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you for that.
So you agree with Sasha with the Y wings? They're pretty.
They look, yeah.
I mean, it's a Y wing, to me.
Paul McGann did his job pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Eccleston, he played his role fantastically. John Hurt, he was a one-off, but that's some good shit. The entire Day of the Doctor special, actually, I think just a massive love letter by Moffat. Just try to throw in everything he can. He puts in reference to David Tennant's series special, where I don't know if you remember this, but it was like, I think it was like End of the World or whatever the final 2 episodes were.
Right, I forget too, but
Tennant goes. They're like, "Hey, we got some shit for you." Oh, well, I was just off doing some random things. He even married second. No, I think he just specifically name drops that he got. Hey, he got married to Elizabeth, so now we know the time frame. Show.
Yep.
And overall, Modern Who has been enjoyable. However, it started to lose me at around.
Yeah, I forget where I stopped watching. It was somewhere around Matt Smith era, I think. Maybe I.
You need to follow through.
I know.
with Matt Smith.
I know. I need to finish it.
You need to.
I know.
It started with Smith.
It's not because I didn't like it. It's just I ran out of time, or something else came up, and
I can respect that.
I need to get back on the horse. It's
the Matt
my own
Smith.
fault.
The Matt Smith story completes the saga that starts with Eccleston.
Cool.
Yes, and it's
and again, I like Eccleston.
Even though it's a different showrunner, Moffat,
yeah. He knows how to tell the story.
Yeah.
He's good. He understands the Doctor really well, and he knows how to bring it to a modern audience.
He did a good job.
He did a really good job.
Again, it was like maybe halfway Capaldi. It's just like, I've got to stop. Otherwise, I'm going to...
Oh, no, but here's the thing. So Capaldi started the new era. And to me, I loved Capaldi.
Okay.
I loved his version of the Doctor because it felt like old school Doctor. Like he just did, but updated because we've seen him go through all of this shit. So it's like take the personality of the old black and white Doctors, but then give him all of the experience that he's had, and now he just doesn't give a shit anymore. It's literally, how would I describe it? Capaldi's Doctor is midlife crisis Doctor.
Yeah, basically.
Fair, yeah.
But
also,
I don't know if you two came to a decision yet, but my all-time favorite Doctor is the Doctor.
Tom Baker.
Oh man.
The only Doctor that ever doctored ever before. Would you like a jelly, baby?
Just, I am the Doctor. That you might say.
Hard to argue with that.
Doctor, will you please stop talking? Why? with those wide eyes and that grin. Why?
It's really good.
It always goes.
Really good.
It seems to me that the most popular Doctors always go with Tom Baker every single time. Not that they're bad decisions. Don't get me wrong.
No.
Tennant's Doctor was awesome though. Like he.
Not to mention, you got a short
where he got to interact with Colin Baker, the fifth Doctor.
Yeah.
Or was he the sixth? One of the two.
Yo.
One of them.
No, it wasn't Tennant. It was
It was Peter Davison and Tennant. Peter Davison and Tennant. Why did I say Colin sixth? It's the fifth.
Okay, in Day of the Doctor, it was Smith and Baker.
No, I'm not talking about the Day of the Doctor. I'm talking about a minisode that took place in like at the end of series 3, just before Voyage of the Damned. They had a little minisode where two TARDISes basically collided with each other. So you had Peter Davison's fifth Doctor interacting with David Tennant's 10th. That was entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was very entertaining.
All right, so let's get back to Star Wars then. Now that I'm back.
Oh boy. Okay.
Let's not. I just got cooled down.
I'm okay to let it go.
Yeah, I think.
Pissed off.
No. There's one thing I would like to say about Episode 8 that most people shit on, and I actually really, really enjoy.
Oh,
and
by all means.
It's actually Luke as a sensei.
Yes.
Or as a Jedi Master, but there is a reason why I use the word sensei.
Yes. Please go on.
Because, like in most Zen Buddhist temples, if you want to try to learn from the sensei, people they'll walk up to the door. They'll go through the tragic attempts to get to the temple itself, and then knock on the door. No answer. Next day, knock on the door. No answer. Next day, knock on the door. Door slightly opens. What do you want? I want to be taught by... Slam the door. Sits down by the door in the rain, knocks on the door. No answer. Simply sits there. Next day, simply sits there. Next day, simply sits there. All the while, the sensei definitely knows that person's sitting there the entire time. This is very traditional to the Zen Buddhism culture. Door opens up. What do you want? I want to learn from you, sensei. Here's a fucking broom. Get in and clean my floors. It's like you think of your teacher as this godlike figure or this enlightened one. But here's the fun fact, folks, about the enlightened ones. They tend to be enlightened. Which means they're going to be very blunt. Which means they're going to be just straight to the point. It's like, look, you want to know how this is? This is how it is. All right. You want to prove yourself? Here's a broom. Clean my place. Ay. Fine. Get out of the... Stop starving yourself and get into the house. It's kind of like how I like to think of Jesus. So many times, and this is actually kind of a mini sermon that I was thinking about this morning. I want to try to convince my church to allow me to do a mini series on Jesus as a human being. And I want to discuss specifically my favorite story from the Bible, where he curses the fig tree. So many times are there tales and stories. So many times are there sermons it's like, well, the fig tree represents the line of Judah, and God wanting to have the Jews, be doing this, but they weren't doing it at the time. And no. Let's actually look at the facts here. Jesus is walking from Jerusalem to another place. He's hungry. He's very hungry. He is hangry. He's going...
Hangry Jesus.
He's looking around and he goes, oh my God, yes, a fig tree. Ah, yes, a fig tree. Now they're going to say the fig tree represents the line of Judah. It shows that it's in leaf, but there is no fruit. They're not producing any... No. Screw all that. He's walking up going, oh, please. There's no fruit. Are you... May no one ever eat fruit from you again. And all of his disciples are like, quite literally, Jesus Christ.
My lord, have a Snickers. Why? You're
not the same.
and he gets to the mount to do the sermon, and all these people are there, and the and the disciples walk up, and they're like, hey Yeshua, the people are hungry, and Jesus goes, no shit, so am I.
Yep. Wells is new.
Yeah, like seriously, bro. And he's looking around, and this one kid comes up and goes, I have 2 fish and 2 bread. And he's like, eyebrow raises, looks up to the heavens, looks back down, and goes, all right, guys, just spread that around the crowd. And they're like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, no, just do it.
I can work with this. Trust me.
Just like, I'm imagining him holding his hand to his head, going, just go, just do it.
Surely you guys have hung around me long enough by now. Surely you know how this works.
His eyes are closed. He's frustrated. He's hangry. He's everything right now, right? He has a crowd of people who are following him that he does not want because he knows where all of this is going. He's like, okay. And so suddenly they start passing it around, and for some reason the food every rip keeps going out. This is a reflection of an older Old Testament story of the oil that was at the bottom of the barrel that kept pouring.
Right.
And then they finally come back, and Jesus goes, oh, thank you. And he has the last 2 bites.
Yep.
He was a good host, and he was the last one to eat. And then he went, oh, okay.
A little something for me.
And then he does his Sermon on the Mount. They head back home. He's feeling better. He's refreshed a little bit. And they go, hey, Yeshua, there's that tree over there that you cursed. And he looks over, and it's like rotten, burnt, and withered. And he goes,
yep.
And he just simply dismisses it. And he doesn't even...
Hey, fuck that tree.
No, he doesn't even, like... I don't even know what to say about this. Like, all he says is just, yeah, with enough faith you can do anything. And just moves on. Like, he doesn't even...
React.
He's like, yeah, see that? You can do anything. With just a little bit of faith.
That's what happened.
Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. Because he knows that when he's going back to Jerusalem, what's going to happen. He's just
poor Andrew.
he's just over it all. he's hangry and over it. So think about this like as a sensei. Back to the sensei, then back to Star Wars. So it's
That's a roundabout way of going at it.
I wanted that little rant, and so basically,
I follow.
Luke as sensei is going, been there, done that. Look, just okay, fine. You can hang around if you want, if you need to. If this is what you want, then fine. Here, just do as you do. You can go grab your lightsaber that I chucked off the cliff, for crying out loud. They don't even show that she regains it.
Yep.
She just suddenly has it again. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, we don't need to see her dive into the water and grab it again. She just has it back, okay?
Well, we do see it landed by those the porgs.
Right.
Eventually at some point she goes and gets it. Yeah, like I said, we don't need to see it.
And at that point, she keeps pushing, and then he's like, yeah. And so then, like a sensei or like an enlightened one, a teacher, an enlightened teacher. I feel like Luke's presentation in that film perfectly reflects that.
Yeah.
Like, he's done, he's over it, he gets it, he understands it, and he's like, you don't want this. You literally don't. Why are you trying? There's no point in trying. You obviously have the Force. You obviously get it. I can see it in you. Why do you want to be trained? Because I want to. Then train yourself. Go. Just pretend to hit rocks or something.
What I love,
especially the whole point of can you put your hand out, close your eyes, and he puts the leaf over her hand. Or the stick. He's like, can you feel it?
Yeah. I love that scene.
I feel something. And he just smacks her, and she's like, ow! And like, he just...
And like, are you done?
Exactly, like, they're...
Oh, it's so good.
It's like, you're buying into the smokes and mirrors, honey. Just get over it and move on.
Like, pay attention here. Like, I know you're excited, but pay attention.
Yep. So I think, I mean, I don't really necessarily have a closing statement, but are you picking up what I'm putting down?
Oh yeah, no. Look, did you really think I, of all people, were going to disagree with you on this?
Well, I'm asking Ed, actually.
Oh, sorry, you're right. Sorry.
Oh, don't worry, I'm picking up on it. And the thing is, I just threw it across the and shot it with, I don't know, I think an RPG or flamethrower, something flammable.
So basically,
I acknowledge your opinion, and I reserve the fact to say that I do not agree with it whatsoever.
And I completely respect that. No, not a problem. Fair enough. Ladies and gentlemen, we have gone through a bunch of random bullshit and all of the Star Wars films thus far. All of our opinions.
Join us next time and we talk about the best Star Wars, Star Trek.
I mean, why do I have to choose? ¿Por qué no los dos?
Yay!
I have always said, like, I would love to have Star Wars stories until the day I die. The actual future I want to live in is Star Trek's future.
Yes.
That is the future that I want.
Yes.
Is Star Trek's future.
I agree.
Let us all agree that Star Trek Nemesis was an.
I actually have a friend who would disagree with you.
I think I do too. I feel like I had this conversation recently with someone about Nemesis.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I think we gotta cut it short, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the end of our show. That was a precursor to what's going to happen next time. Next time on Wednesday evening for only 2 hours this time. That time.
Allegedly.
Only 2 hours. It'll be
Allegedly.
fairly similar to this, and it'll be a little bit more structured. I'm going to figure this all out. It'll be better planned.
Yeah,
And
no worries.
then next Sunday, at the same time, I will actually be drawing for commissions. So there we go.
Fighting stuff.
Yeah. So thank you all for listening. Even though you may not be listening now, you will be listening later. So, does anybody have any ideas for an ending to this?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, for Goop Cheese and Dash Magnum, I am the Death Envoy, better known as the White Buffalo Bitch. Tally ho, ladies and gentlemen.
Tally ho! Until next time. Good night, everybody.
Good night.